Welcome to this episode of Red Bandy Outdoors. I'm Scott, fish biologist turned YouTuber, living the dream, being the star of my own fishing show on TV. So here we are back in the river in the canyon, waiting for the big salmon flies to come off. I'm going to show you guys the Euro Nymphing rig today. I've been fishing this a little bit here this morning. I caught a nice whitefish on it. I'll just show you. But the one thing I just changed up on it is I switched over to the small caddis. So this is that EATT, the everywhere all the time caddis that I have on my Fish Finder jig store, where you can pick up both the large jig stones that I'm using here. This one's the golden variety. It comes in the 3-pack, and then of course I have a 3-pack of the caddis, the everywhere all the time EATT caddis. I want to bounce that through this part of the run right here behind me, but I want to go over the effectiveness of the Euro Nymphing. It's a real easy way to get into drifting flies on your spin rod. If you want to just bounce some flies along the bottom or slightly off it and get into some fish that eat small bugs, because you can deliver that small bug up on the first swivel. So the way this is rigged is it comes down off the main line braid to the bumper, 12-pound, 10-pound fluoro leader on there, bumper, and then onto that bumper I tie a swivel. Now at that first swivel you can hang any dropper fly you want. Right now I'm hanging that little caddis, size 14, size 12 caddis with a little wing on it, glass bead head. And then about 20 inches down from that, that's where I have the large jig stone. Now this is about a 3/32, 2.6 grams, a little less than 3/32 jig stone. It casts perfectly, and you can tie that rubber leg jig stone right on it. I sell those in a 3-pack as well as the EATT caddis in a 3-pack at my store. And I busted this one out of the inventory today just to come out and show you guys how effective it is. I got a little video where just down below me here I caught a nice whitefish, just bouncing it on the bottom into that dark water where you can't see. There we go, right there. Nice fish, real nice fish, right off the bottom. I'm not sure what this is. Big whitefish. Big whitefish. Whitefish count. They're feeding on the same bugs the trout are as well. This guy's a kind of a trophy size one. See if I can get a picture for you. Come here, bud. So it took that big lead jig stonefly right there. Big fat whitey. If you haven't watched my video, Bugs to Bites, I show the stoneflies that are out here. I put up a little collection net, move some rocks around, collect some bugs, and show you the bugs that these fish are eating on. And if you think something like that is a little bit too big, you know, that's maybe about 1.5 inches, these bugs are twice that big. These big stoneflies are 3.5, 4 inches long, and these fish just gobble them right down. So if you're afraid to fish something that big out here and you think you need to fish the tiny tinies all the time, like that, you really don't. That was a nice whitefish. It was above average whitefish, big fatty. Scoff this thing right down, and the trout will too. But this is an awesome way to fish because it allows you to just deliver 2 flies very effectively. You got the nice small nymph up here. You can use whatever you want. You can use a big stonefly, San Juan worm, any kind of caddis, any kind of nymph. I just like to go with stuff that's unweighted, so when this is bouncing down the river, that big tungsten weight isn't wrapping your fly back into your main line, okay? I like to have unweighted flies, and that's what I offer you guys over at the store. Is they're all unweighted. They fish real well on these setups I use. And then of course the jig stone allows you to deliver it. We're fishing this on light braid, 8-pound braid with a diameter of 2-pound test, a 10-pound fluoro bumper down to a 10-pound fluoro main line, and that dropper on that eat caddis is a 6-pound test, Seagar 6-pound. So let's get with it. Let's bump around right out through here and see if I can't find another one. But I want to show you how to do this technique. The key is that this thing is going to hit the bottom, right? And that's where you want to be, but you don't want to be under the fish. You want to be slightly above them. you just want to tick the bottom and be up. Tick the bottom and be up. That's where you're going to find the fish. And that real light caddisfly is just going to be floating above there, dancing in the current. Let's give it a try. You know, these are rigs that you can tie up at home. You can tie up a couple different colors at home, different setups you want. You put them on that leaderboard I showed you, or just wrap them around something. You can have these ready to go, but that leaderboard really helps you out. I just popped this one off the leaderboard when I wanted to go over to a Euro Nymph from the drop shot. I'm loving that golden stone. I like that color. It's just, you know, it's something that other people aren't throwing out here today. A yellowish stonefly. Man, that hit like a fish. Just stopped right there and kind of bounced. Swear to God that was a fish, but it wasn't. And that jig stone, it sinks really fast, so it gets you right down in the zone. You can feel it tapping on the bottom every now and then. Allows me to really work the water very effectively, very confidently, and it's got a real buggy look to it. Any fish is going to give that thing a look. So I like to cast upstream and just get it to sink, and then work it through kind of a pizza wedge right here, where I can feel it tapping the bottom. Sometimes it gets stuck, I just pop it off. You want to maintain contact with it. So a lot of people are going to call this Euro Nymphing. Some people are going to call it other kinds of stuff. Contact nymphing, check nymphing. They're all slightly different, but the reality is you're remaining in contact with this fly on the bottom. So I can feel that at all times. And so when it stops or it pauses and it's not stuck, you can set the hook. And then that allows me to know where this fly is at all times. So in a perfect environment, that's straight up and down. That second fly, or that top fly, is about 20 inches off the bottom. But because we have it at an angle, it's much closer to the bottom. And that's what you want to maintain, is just contact with that nymph, not a lot of slack line. And just bounce it along the bottom and see if you can find a fish that wants to eat it. And there's one right there, folks. Right there, as we were talking. Nothing big. Another whitey. Another whitey. Right on the bottom on that yellow stonefly. And this guy gobbled it. Wait, what did he take? Well, this guy took the caddis, it looks like. Sorry, he took the caddis. So there he is with the caddis. Took that EATT caddis. You can see that right there. Really quickly, we'll pop that out. You just got to be a little careful because you got the two hooks there. But right off the bat, took the caddis. Get that ready to fish again. And that's that caddis nymph. Just dangling right there, right? It doesn't tangle on that line, that main line, because there's no weight on it, and it's tied to that swivel with a 90-degree knot, just like we showed you in the drop shot rig. It's tied on that swivel with a 90-degree knot. Or it comes off that swivel 90 degrees from the other knots, excuse me. Let me say that correctly. And so it hangs right down 90 degrees off that swivel and doesn't tangle at the knots and doesn't tangle with the main line. It allows you to just know where it is. So we put it right out there again. See if we can find a trout in here. It's good when you're catching whitefish because you know you're in the zone. That's right on the bottom. Just pull it up a little bit. Deepens up in there, a little slot. Tap in the bottom still. Okay, perfect. So when I talk about that 90 degrees, right? I want to make sure you guys understand that because I think I flubbed it up a little bit. That's coming off of that at 90 degrees from the other knot. You can see that right there. And so you can even push it up even more. You know, those fish will yank it down. But that fly, or that line, is coming off of there at 90 degrees just like that. And that keeps the tangles down to a minimum. And because this is unweighted, this is a very small unweighted fly, it does not want to swing down and wrap around that line. All right, I think I'm going to end it there today. Just a quick one on the Euro Nymphing technique. Again, I'm using this on my 7-foot ultralight Bass Pro Fish Eagle spin rod. This is for 2 to 8 pound test monofilament or braid. Fishes a 1/16 on up to a 3/8 ounce lure. And this is perfect for all the things that you see me do on this channel, whether it's the jig, whether it's the drop shot, or it is the Euro Nymph like I showed you today. So thanks for sticking with me today, folks. I really appreciate it. It's a beautiful day out here. Hopefully you're getting out on the river yourself and enjoying this awesome spring weather we've been having. Don't underestimate the power of a simple rubber leg stonefly on a jig. If you need one, you know where to look, fishfinderjigs.com. So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next time. See you on the river.